According to the CDC, 1 in 8 couples experience infertility. However, this is still often a taboo topic amongst many. Big insurance companies view infertility treatment, such as IVF, as an elective. I really don't know many people that would elect to have fertility issues. As we expand upon this topic, please join myself, Dr. Shelley LaPrince, and my husband, Elijah LaPrince Sr. of Family Management Services, as we discuss many of the present challenges today with Casey and Brian. One of the things I was just thinking about is like the CDC, they have these stats. They're like from like 2005 that 1 in 8 couples experience infertility. But like since we published our book in April, it's like so many people we talk to either already experience infertility or going through treatments. Like I think it's like probably like 1 in 4, 1 in 3 if I could estimate. I don't know.
Well, personally, 4 of my girlfriends, 3 of us have children, and 3 of us needed to go through fertility treatments. 2 of us needed IVF and 1 needed IUI. So right there, that's a higher percentage than what the CDC is reporting. So
I think they should do a new study.
Right.
Like, so many people. Then he says like 1/3 male, 1/3 female issue. A third is like a combined issue. So one of the things that like really like shocked me is a lot of employer groups don't cover fertility treatments. Like my old job I worked for, it was an insurance company. So they covered fertility treatments, but not for their employees. They didn't want to pay the additional cost. And then like for IVF, a lot of companies say it's elective. My tubes are blocked. So I'm like, I didn't elect to have blocked tubes.
Exactly, you know? Right. And for me, I have PCOS and diminished ovarian reserve. I was 29 when I started the process, so I should have had more than enough eggs. It wasn't my choice to have less eggs than that of a normal 29-year-old. So I feel it should have been covered. Now, we were lucky ours was covered, but not everyone has that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That privilege. So
our first 4 cycles, we were just like digging our 401k, emptying out savings. It was crazy.
It was definitely a financial burden when you look at trying to go through the whole process. But I guess now looking at it, it was worth every penny.
Right.
Having had that success. But I think that if you look at having more support from just raising the awareness, having more support from the insurance companies, then you'll have more couples that are able to pursue IVF or whatever fertility treatment is needed to allow them to experience the joys of parenthood. But there's definitely a financial component that presents itself as a barrier to a lot of couples that are experiencing challenges trying to give birth and have children.
And it just adds to the stress level too, the financial burden. You're already stressed enough going through injecting yourself with tons of medication, your hormones are all out of whack, and then you have to worry about where am I going to get $10,000 from? Where am I going to get $1,200 from? So it's an extra stressor that's just not needed when you're going through this process.
Definitely.
That's one of the things that I mentioned in our book in terms of the male perspective, because I see you alluded to the hormones. And as
is that only for women?
well, I'll just say from my experience, you're trying to keep everything in perspective. And as you're going through and you see your wife, and I happen to be the one that was doing the injection. So although she was the one that was being injected, we both were feeling the pain. It's not fun by any stretch of the imagination. But you're looking at maybe this is the chance that we're going to have success. Maybe this is what's needed. And I would tell my wife, baby, just take it for the team. And we kind of I would use ice packs to kind of numb the area. I felt like an expert after so many times of going through this process. And one of the things that I mentioned in the male perspective is that it takes you on an emotional roller coaster. I know prior to going through the IVF, we initially started out with the rhythm method. And they go back and they get the text and go, we want you to just test your temperature to kind of see when you're ovulating. And that was a roller coaster. I would be in one of my accounts, maybe 45 minutes from home, and my wife would give me a call and say, baby, it's time now. and I'm like, well, I'm all the way up in King of Prussia. And she's like, my temperature's raising, it's raising. You need to get home now. So here I'm racing home, thinking like maybe today is the day. And you're just like having this passionate lovemaking, everything's great, and then 2 days later, the menstrual cycle comes on. and you realize that that was unsuccessful attempt. And so after a period of time, it became more so a chore. The love making actually became a chore, if you can actually believe that. Yeah. Because, she was actually just, I felt like my body was just being used as an object. There was just like no emotion there. It's like, let's go, get ready. And, she just kind of jumped all on my bones. And, I did enjoy it. But the fact of the matter is when it ends in a failed attempt, then basically now you go from the highs down to the really lows. And I could not really share how I was feeling, because my main job was try to comfort my wife, try to bring her comfort, try to console her. So then after she's kind of good, I get in the car, I cut the radio on, and I'm like, I can't believe we're going through this. And one of the things that I experienced is that it really tests your faith. And I think that just my faith in God was even strengthened, because even we had 5 cycles of IVF, but we only have 2 children. So ultimately, I believe that it's God who ultimately decides if you're going to have the privilege of parenthood. But I tell you, the journey of going through that emotional juggernaut was a lot to deal with.
Yeah, and for as much as what I had to go through, can only imagine what she went through. For us, I found that communication was key. Always checking in on her, how you feeling, telling her how I'm feeling, asking if I can make dinner that night or clean up the house, You just want to make sure that you're treating your lady as the #1 priority. Leaving work early, whatever you have to do to make her more comfortable.
Right.
Definitely makes it a lot easier for the guy in the long run too. As you mentioned, the hormones, it's like, just know that it's not going to last forever. It's a long road ahead, true, but it's not going to last forever. Just do whatever you can do to make her comfortable and try to take on some of that emotional burden. There's just so much that rests on their shoulders. You just want to do what you can to make them comfortable. Ask if you can go to the doctor's appointments. Sometimes the guys are a little dumb. They're like, oh, well, I don't know if I should go, or I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Right.
So guys just checking in all the time and asking, is there any way that I can help you? And it's a 2-way street too, because sometimes I felt that she kind of felt like she was bothering me by asking if I can leave work to go to a doctor's appointment, but ladies, just make sure that you're doing the same thing, just checking in and just asking, and
open
keeping
communication.
Keeping the men part of the process will make us much more emotionally invested.
I'm Dr. Shelley LaPrince here with my husband, Elijah LaPrince Sr. of Family Management Services. Thank you for watching this episode of Infertile Moments. Please be on the lookout for future discussions with Brian and Casey, as well as future episodes of Infertile Moments coming soon.